Hey my little beans, it's Blanco Bean here, and today we are reacting to Nicki Minaj before they were famous YouTube channel. But I like Nicki. I have a couple of her songs. I'm not a Barb, but I do like Nicki. So Barbs don't come after me. But I don't know too much about Nicki, so it'll be cool to check this video out to get to know a little bit about her. So let's see.
Before Nicki Minaj, we consider the most successful and influential female rapper of all time.
Overall, you would have to put Nicki above Kim because you make the list today.
Yeah.
We would make that list today. So today, Nicki is a little bit more influential than Lil Kim. So you would have to put Nicki above. So I don't see anything wrong with that.
Before Nicki Minaj would show the world she's not afraid of working with the rap game's biggest troll.
And it made me realize I don't care anymore what anybody gotta say. I'ma do me.
Before Nicki Minaj would receive numerous awards and accolades, including winning the BET Award for Best Female Hip Hop Artist for 7 consecutive years,
wow,
as well as 10 Grammy nominations.
Okay.
Nicki Minaj, King
It's turning out to be a great night for Nicki Minaj.
She's been called the queen of hip-hop, and for good reason. It doesn't seem there is another female rapper as accomplished as Nicki Minaj at the time of this recording. But I'm not so sure anyone will ever be able to reach the heights she's managed to reach over the course of her career. From world tours to films, she's also got the cosmetics from lipstick to fragrances, and we can't forget that she's also a part owner of Tidal. After collaborations with 6ix9ine and Doja Cat, with the latter getting the women their first #1 on the Billboard Hot 100 Songs chart, it seems Nicki is simply setting herself up for another decade of success. However, all the success, fame, and fortune would come at a price, as Nicki certainly didn't have any handouts and had to go through some tougher times before she would have an estimated net worth of allegedly between 80 to 100 million.
Damn!
What's going on, guys? Welcome back to Before They Were Famous. I'm your host for this one, Jared Bronstein, and today we're documenting the life and career of the one and only Nicki Minaj before fame. As always, let us know who we should cover next in the comment section down below, but for now, let's get right into it.
Hey, be sure to subscribe and hit that bell. Boom!
Nicki Minaj was born Onika Tanya Maraj on December 8, 1982 in St. James, Trinidad and Tobago. Her father, Robert Maraj, is of Indo-Trinidadian and Afro-Trinidadian origins.
I always thought she was born in New York.
Carol Maraj is of Afro-Trinidadian descent. Nicki has a younger brother, Micaiah, and younger sister, Ming, as well as an older brother, Jelani, and a half-brother, Brandon Lamar. If you know the situation regarding Nicki's oldest brother, Jelani, well, let's just say he's likely spending the rest of his life in jail, and it's for his involvement with a minor. But we gotta get back to Nicki. In hopes of offering the children a better life, Nicki's parents moved to the United States, with her mother enrolling at Monroe College and her father getting a job at American Express, while Nicki and her siblings would stay with their grandmother. This led to her spending some of her youth in the port of Spain, and it seems their culture certainly had an influence on a young Nicki. Although her parents would eventually land jobs, money was still tight, which led to the family living in the neighborhood of Southside Jamaica in Queens, New York. Nicki and her older brother would start calling Queens home when she was just 5 years old. But unfortunately for Nicki, things would go from bad to worse.
So she was raised in New York, but wasn't born there.
And would sell some of the family's furniture for drug money at times. Although her mother would work as a nurse's aide, it was tough for the family to have a stable income. As Robert's addiction got worse, he started being abusive towards Nicki's mother, and even once tried to burn her house down. Thankfully, Nicki and her brother wouldn't be home at the time, as her mother would actually have a dream the night before that this was going to happen, and told them to stay with their friends that night.
I was so scared I didn't know what happened, but everybody was running over here, and I just looked. My house was gone. The house was gone. All of my toys, all my clothes, all of my memories.
With Robert's addiction and abuse, Nicki, her brother, and mother would live in fear, with holes constantly being punched in walls, the cops making regular appearances, and Nicki locking herself in her room. As a way of coping with the traumatic situation, Nicki would express herself artistically, pretending to be other people. Before she was Barbie, she was known as Cookie, telling New York Magazine in 2010, I quote, "To get away from all their fighting, I would imagine being a new person. Cookie was my first identity that stayed with me for a while. I went on to Harajuku Barbie, and then Nicki Minaj. Fantasy was my reality. I must have been such an effing annoying little girl. Everywhere we went, I was up singing or acting like, hey, look at me." Eventually, her father would get clean and the family has a great relationship, but that didn't happen overnight. Seeing her mother struggle and growing up close to God, Nicki would pray that one day she'd be able to take care of her. But at just 5 years old, there isn't much you could do but keep the faith. In regards to education, Nicki would attend Clarence Witherspoon Public School for elementary, where she would play clarinet and sing in the choir. At just 12 years old, she would write her first rap, and with ambitions of performing, would attend Fiorello H. LaGuardia High School of Music and Art and Performing Arts for her high school years. Each student had
I've heard about that school from other places, I've heard like other artists being part of that school too.
Theater. With hopes of being the next Monica, which is one of Nicki's biggest idols, she auditioned for the vocal music program. Unfortunately, Nicki failed her singing audition and ended up up in the drama program.
I'll let you right now. Tell him I can have my baby back.
Oh, I've seen this clip before.
Here, the intense training gets the better of this young actress.
At just 15, she would have an abortion, telling Rolling Stone in 2014, I quote, "I thought I was going to die. I was a teenager. It was the hardest thing I'd ever gone through. It'd be contradictory if I said I wasn't pro-choice. I wasn't ready. I didn't have anything to offer a child." Being in the drama program, Nicki started to grow fond of some of the industry's best, such as the one and only Meryl Streep. However, she also cites Jada Pinkett Smith as inspiration regarding acting, and has claimed Jay-Z, Foxy Brown, Lil Wayne, Madonna, Beyonce, Kanye, and many other artists inspiring her musically. After graduating from high school, she would land herself a role in the off-Broadway play In Case You Forget back in 2001. However, it seems Nicki really wasn't all that passionate about acting. She was more focused on writing.
I studied drama.
Okay, so what type of acting were you doing with that?
Mostly stage.
Anything I might have seen?
No, actually, I did like an off-Broadway play at one time too after school. But
she looks so cute in bangs.
It wasn't.
Well,
not at that time. I wasn't focused enough.
Not too much here, but no shade. But
I didn't really be focused. Like
I think bangs look good on her.
Stuff like that for agents, and I wasn't there yet. I was too all over the place.
Now, as we know, the entertainment business is a tough industry to break into. It usually leads to people working various different jobs, and Nicki was no exception. It seems she actually had a total of about 15 jobs before she decided she was destined to entertain. Telling Billboard back in 2010, "The last job I had was an office manager in a little tiny room where I literally wanted to strangle this guy because he was so loud and obnoxious. I would go home with stress pains in my neck and my back. That's when I went to my mother and said, look, I'm not going back to work. I'd been fired like 15 times because I had a horrible attitude." Apparently there was even once an incident where Nicki chased a customer while working at Red Lobster for stealing her pen.
What? That must have been a really good pen.
For her. For a short period of time, she would sign with the Brooklyn group Full Force, leading her to be a part of the quartet group known as the Hood Stars. The group was made up of Minaj, Lou Star, 7-Up, and a guy named Scaff Beezy, whose real name is Safari Samuels. From this point on, Nicki was 100% committed to her craft, but wasn't going to let anyone take away from her artistic integrity. After leaving the group, she would start uploading her work to MySpace.
MySpace. Back in those old days.
Hit him with the N-I-C, the K-ya. I'm Tinkerbell, he's Peter Paya. To these red I'm Mother Maya.
Around this time, she also started taking Samuel,
she still has that
who,
same
as we all
flow.
know, she would be on and off with until about 2014. Their relationship was quite interesting, with him eventually turning into more of a hype man for Nicki than anything. The team would push for Nicki's success as she would continue uploading to MySpace, while sharing the links with anyone who was willing to listen. Fortunately for her, CEO of Dirty Money, Fendi, caught wind of Nicki's sound and saw a real opportunity. But this wasn't by chance, as Nicki explained, I quote, "I was coaxed into starting a MySpace page and began sending out friend requests to some insiders in the music biz. Fendi happened to be a person I sent a request to. He hit me up and began relentlessly pursuing me. He asked for a trial period to prove himself. The rest is history." However, he requested she make one change, going from Nicki Maraj to Minaj. According to the queen herself, I quote, "My real name is Maraj. Fendi flipped it when he met me because I had such a nasty flow. I eat." She signed a 180-day contract with Dirty Money in 2007. Her first mixtape dropped in June of that year, titled Playtime Is Over. Shortly after, she would get the attention of one of the best MCs in the rap game.
Like I said, he saw me on the DVD. He said, "I got to have that girl shout it. Hey, yo, shout it. Yo, I want to meet Nick and shout it." And he met me. Who doesn't take a flight when Weezy F Baby's on the phone? You know what I'm saying?
On the heels of breaking through to the big times, Nicki would drop Sucka Free in 2008, which is the same year she would be named Female Artist of the Year at the 2008 Underground Music Awards. In 2009, she dropped Beam Me Up Scotty, collaborating with Lil Wayne, and in August of that year, Nicki would officially sign to Lil Wayne's Young Money label, becoming its first ever female artist. Jumping on tracks such as Bedrock, which also features a very young Drake and Tyga, and a remix of 5 Star by Yo Gotti, it wouldn't be long until the mainstream really started vibing with Nicki's sound. In April of 2010, she released her first single, Massive Attack, which was supposed to be the lead single for her debut album, Pink Friday. However, after it received a fairly poor reception, Nicki and her team decided to drop Your Love. After peaking at 14 on the Billboard Hot 100 and #1 on the Billboard Rap Songs chart, Nicki would release a few more singles before dropping her debut album. Pink Friday would officially drop on November 22nd, 2010, debuting at #2 on the Billboard Hot 200 and receiving generally positive feedback.
Great tradition of Black Friday. We are going to switch it up this year in honor of the Nicki Minaj album and call that day Pink Friday. And call my album Pink Friday.
As we know, Nicki would go on to win numerous awards, get herself into a handful of feuds, drop an insane amount of music, and showcase to the world her many different characters. From Roman to Barbie, Chun-Li, and all those in between, it'll be interesting to see what else Nicki comes up with down the road. Most recently, she's been working with 6ix9ine on the song Trolls, had her first #1 with a remix of Say So, and as recently as October 2019, got married to her childhood friend, Kenneth Zupetti. There's also a lot of information that's happened between now and her first album drop, but this is before they were famous, so I think we'll wrap it up on that note.
Okay, everybody, that's a wrap.
I've been your host, Jared Bronstein. Let us know who we should cover next, and we'll see you guys in the next one.
Okay. Nice. Now I got to learn a little bit about Nicki Minaj's history. But yeah, I didn't know a lot about this information in regards to Nicki. I think it's amazing that, you know, hearing people's stories, it helps relate with them. Because it's like, I think a lot of us may be able to share commonalities with some artists and their experiences growing up and stuff. So it's really cool to be able to see that perspective when it comes to Nicki, because she's a human being. You know, the fact that she is one of thousands who was able to make it and be considered now like the queen of rap. You know, can you imagine? Like, I'm pretty sure Nicki growing up never expected something to happen like this. You know, like, it just makes you think about, you know, for your own future, like, you never know what might happen later on. You might be the king of something, the queen of something. You might have the most successful business of all time or something, you know? But it's really cool to be able to just see their history and where they come from and such. I definitely did not know some of the songs that they've mentioned. I'm not going to lie. Maybe if I hear it, I would know what song that might be, but I actually don't know. I'm not very good at remembering or knowing like titles to songs, or even sometimes even the artists themselves. Like I can recognize Nicki's voice. That's something that you can definitely recognize. But in regards to like titles, sometimes I'm just like, I don't know which song that might be. But yeah, pretty cool video. Let me know, what is your favorite Nicki Minaj song? Did you know anything about Nicki? What are some other things that you want to share about Nicki Minaj that I didn't know? But make sure y'all like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see y'all next time. Peace.